ashamed of yourself not standing up. You should be ashamed of yourself. In many cases, drug lords, murderers all over our country, they're blocking the removal of these people out of our country, and you should be ashamed of yourself.
Goading Democrats over immigration and insisting he sparked an economic boom, President Donald Trump speaking before Congress in the longest ever State of the Union address. The president using the night to celebrate the U.S. men's hockey team, honor war heroes, and try to convince voters that the U.S. is, in his words, winning so much. But the night also included a long list of falsehoods and a speech that dozens of Democrats chose to skip altogether. There's a lot to unpack tonight, so let's get right to Eyewitness News reporter Liz Nagy live on our newsroom with the speech and how it's playing. Liz.
Mark, President Trump's main purpose heading into tonight's annual address to Congress was to convince the American people life is more affordable and safer since he returned to the White House last year. The president arrived at Capitol Hill tonight with new ABC polling showing he's facing serious headwinds on some of the issues he promised to resolve. The deep divisions in Congress were evident the moment President Trump entered the chamber. Raucous cheers from fellow Republicans and a slim, silent crowd of Democrats. The president set out to prove he's delivering on his campaign promises, chief among them, the economy.
We held strong, and with the great, big, beautiful bill, we gave you no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security for our great seniors.
A new ABC News Washington Post Ipsos poll shows 57% of voters disapprove of how the president is handling the economy. With 3 Supreme Court justices who ruled most of his tariffs unconstitutional seated just feet away, Trump doubled down on the cornerstone of his economic policy.
I believe the tariffs paid for by foreign countries will, like in the past, substantially replace the modern-day system of income tax, taking a great financial burden off the people that I love.
Locked in yet another partial government shutdown with Democrats demanding changes in immigration enforcement tactics, Trump repeatedly admonished Democrats, and some Democrats shouted right back.
You should be ashamed of yourself not standing up. You should be ashamed of yourself. To end deadly sanctuary cities.
With 35,000 military members stationed in the Middle East, Trump used his primetime address to warn Iran.
I will never allow the world's #1 sponsor of terror, which they are by far, to have a nuclear weapon. Can't let that happen.
In a night that awarded military veterans and service members medals of honor, the largest applause of the night went to the gold medal-winning U.S. men's hockey team. While Democrats rallied outside the Capitol in protest, Virginia's Democratic governor made a case that Democrats are likely to take into the midterm elections.
In his speech tonight, the president did what he always does. He lied, he scapegoated, and he distracted. And he offered no real solutions to our nation's pressing challenges.
Now, more than 70 Democrats chose to skip the speech tonight. President Trump never also mentioned the Epstein files, ignoring a controversy that's plagued his administration. More than a dozen survivors of Jeffrey Epstein's abuse tonight attended the State of the Union as guests of Democratic lawmakers.